What's up, Andrew Classic PH? Hey, Ben, man. What are you up to? Phantom, how you doing? So, for Andrew, I don't think you've been here much, Phantom. We have beat the game. We've done everything but beat Red, which I don't think we need to do for anything. So now, what we're doing, we can start catching, for real. And, so I've got some of the babies. Or not babies, but, Pokemon that need to evolve through happiness. I'm gonna go back to Johto. We're gonna start from the very beginning, but we have money. We have ducats. We have buckets of ducats. I might want some more Great Balls just in case. Great Balls for monetary efficiency, but I might get some Ultra Balls in there. Might be cute, get some Ultra Balls. Oh, I can get the Silver Wing too. Been inspired by your Gen 2 streams to play some Crystal Clear and to make a Team Challenge Pokemon Stadium 2. I might put Crystal Clear on, I've never played it before, but I might put it on my Steam Deck. Could be something to play at night. Last night I transferred, on my Virtual Console. I'm kind of working on a video that will take a long time, and I don't really have the footage for it, so I don't know how I'm going to do it. Because I haven't been recording it on my legit 3DS with my Virtual Console games, but I decided randomly, like, hey, what if I could get all of the in-game trade Pokemon? So I've done it and there's different in-game trades for the upper version. So Yellow has a few different in-game trades than Red and Blue. Crystal has a few different in-game trades than Gold and Silver. But I'm not going to do duplicates. So if it's the same in-game trade like Rocky in Generation 2, I'm not going to do that over and over again. But last night, I guess me of a few months ago did them all. Because I wasn't sure if I was missing any. So Generation 1 and 2 is complete entirely. Both Yellow and Crystal too. So now I can move on to Gen 3 and do those in-game trades, you know? And anyway, but I'm not capturing the footage yet. I'll be able to capture the footage on Gen 3 games. But I don't know what I'm going to do about the first 2 gens. I might have to just re-record it. I don't know. It seems like a lot of work. I don't know if the payoff will be worth some on-screen authenticity. It's sweet. I have a flashcard to play it. Shock Slayer did a great job. Shock Slayer, what's up? Nothing much. Been listening to your videos to keep me sane at work. Your Yume video has me looking into ROM hacks. Yume is on my list, and I'm looking at Storm Silver. Never played Storm Silver. In fact, Yume is the only ROM hack I've ever played. But yeah, thanks for watching the content, though, man. Appreciate you. You're watching the next video, in a way. Tons of extra hidden content jives well with the general field of Gen 2. Okay, so the general idea that I don't know if this is the best way to do it. And I'll be doing some note-taking on the side and naming my video files. So bear with me a little bit. I want to get the Silver Wing is in pewter, right? And it's this guy, I think. So I'm recording this. Yep. Okay. Got that. We'll name this file Silver Wing. Oh, Shock Slayer is the creator. Crystal Clear, gotcha. What is this footage? Oh, Snorlax. Okay. They changed the Elite Four Crystal Clear. Why? I did a Costco run yesterday and I got my poppy seed muffins, which I like. It's the only sugary delight that I got, though. Everything else has carbs, but everything else does not have sugar, so proud of myself. And I won't keep buying them. I just haven't had them in like 6 months, and I wanted to have some, so I bought some. But no mas. I'm gonna have a few sugary delights, and that's it. Let's go get a haircut for Togepi. I think they self-inserted the devs creator allowed to face the OG Elite Four battle simulator at the league. The devs creator, like a Pokemon devs creator, or the dev of Crystal Clear. Oh yeah, I don't like that either. That should be the bonus content that's in maybe the battle simulator. They probably should leave the original one alone, right? What am I doing? I figure just my girlfriend has my other SP, so I can't trade things right now, which is fine because I have plenty to do in this game. But I figure go back and start catching, just, you know, playing the game sequentially. But now that we have Pokemon and money, it'll be easier. And the unfortunate thing is it's midday right now, which makes things tough. The whole game is quite a bit different. It's non-linear in Gym's trainers scale based on your... Oh, I like that. Whoa, I kind of like that. That's a different way to play. How does the wild Pokemon... How do they do that? $4 p.m. livid stream. What a good Thursday, yeah. Enjoy it, because I'm getting off around 5 p.m. to watch American football, okay? That's why I'm doing this, and then I'll probably get on after that. Oh, that's cool, Andrew. Oh, yeah, I'm going to add that to the Steam Deck. That's going on the deck tonight. What am I doing? I mean, yeah, we just going back to where it all began. I could put away. Nah, we'll hold on to everything. We have plenty of box room. I'm gonna need Chinchou to surf at the nooks and crannies that we're backtracking to. I'm a normie. Dude, I know you're kidding. Football's cool, man. I don't know why I came here. I don't know you come here. You're a Patriots fan? You guys are good again. Must be nice. I'm a Seahawks fan, so at least we're good this year. And I think we're actually good instead of just being, like, good based on beating shitty teams, like, the past 10 years. I feel like a self-insert ROM hack dev battle is cool, but shouldn't be tied to anything in the game's story. I feel like if I did it, I'd hide it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because Wes said, like, oh, there's like a battle simulator. That should be where the dev self-insert is, not the main game. I agree with you. Real football is cooler. I like real football. Every time Atlanta loses, the city is minus 100. It's funny because I have like 3 Atlanta players in fantasy football. So I'm like a little Atlanta fan right now. Bijan, dude. Whew. Bijan Robinson. In other words, most of the existing areas are largely the same, minor differences. I appreciate that, but the Elite Four, you know. Listen, I'm probably gonna put it on the deck tonight. I'm not gonna play it, but that's a little thing where I'm like, what? If I go against the Elite Four, I want to battle the Elite Four. Why isn't it telling me the wild Pokemon? Come on. Come on, Bulbapedia. What did he want to give me? Mystic Water? Yeah. I'll drop something for that. I could never pass this stuff up, even though I probably will never use it. PP up. Yeah, I guess I'll give it to Wesley. We'll do Thunder Punch. I feel like I always need more Thunder Punch. It's so satisfying that Chinchou, or Sinchou, or whatever you say, can learn Flash. Because that makes too much sense. Alright, I guess this isn't going well. There's so much I can't get for day and night. Because I'm playing during midday. What are we at? We're at 32. That I'm getting my 3DS repaired and I can start shiny hunting Scythical again. Phantom, do you do the shiny Ditto method? Are you doing it? Are you raw dogging full odds? Somebody last night in the stream was talking about shiny hunting with the Ditto method, and I have that set up on my crystal. So after I traded my in-game trade Pokemon for a video I might do later, I I started shiny hunting for a Pineco. You sent me a way to edit my time. What do you mean? Where'd you send it? Oh. I remember what you're talking about. I tried to change the battery in my new 2DS XL. It's a nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. And it notoriously came with like a really shitty battery that doesn't last that long, which is great because when you want to, which means it needs to get replaced, but they made it like really hard to replace. You really can't catch, like... Our hands are kind of tied, man. Wow, you can get a quillfish. I think fishing will be its own arc. Did I already pass that, Atkins? You know what we could do? We could do a bug catching contest. I just want to see if I caught a Ekans first. You want to run through the game with it? Dude, I wish you luck. The only time I've ever done a full odds, like original full odds hunt, was to get the shiny Celebi, and Crystal Virtual Console so I could have it on home. It was worth it, but I'm not doing it again. I like the make the odds in my favor, you know what I mean? I just don't have it in me. Not again. And I went over odds on Shiny Celebi. I went 13,000 soft resets. And remember, there's a cutscene, so you have to watch that cutscene. It's not too crazy long or anything. Hoppip. Oh, it's a midday spawn. Oh, just morning. What's up, Chad? How you doing? Chad, you and I didn't get any sleep, huh? Ugh. Oh my god, you've still been... Oh my gosh. Wait, so you're going to bed soon? Oh, I forgot to get Parasect. Excited about Valve announcement yesterday. Didn't hear about it until after your stream ended this morning. And yeah, the missus just got home from work, so I'm gonna watch you till I pass out. Nice. I did. I think that's really exciting for people who are into want to get into PC gaming and want to buy Valve products to play at home. But for me, it's not a product I'll probably buy because I already have like a really nice gaming PC and I already have a Steam Deck. And you know, the Steam machine won't beat like custom built gaming rigs. You know, I built mine for editing and for gaming, so. But this is a great. I think it's a great product for the consumer who they don't want to go through the hassle of building their own PC, but they want to get into playing PC games. That's long been like, and I think I'm pretty confident that Valve, especially with the success of the Steam Deck, because it went gangbusters, like casual people who I knew from my last job who like were confused by computers. I convinced like all of them to buy Steam Decks. They still hit me up to this day. I've been out of that job for almost a year now. They still hit me up to this day like, I love this thing, man. I'm so glad I got it. And I'm sure a few of them will hit me up about the Steam machine and be like, should I get this? And I think I'll like it. I don't want to put Wesley away, but he might be who I put away. Because if I get into a Harry... it's stupid. The thing is, I don't want to put any of the baby Pokemon away either. I guess for now it'll be... Oh, It'll be Chinchou. Let's do some bug catching. You guys want bug catch? Oh, so I do have an Exons, by the way. Cool. I've already been hunting, and while not a cutscene per se, I've been dealing with the chatty Professor Elm, like 30 seconds to reset depending on how engaged I am as I'm doing it. How long have you been recording your resets? DM'd you some crystal clear details, have a good stream. Heading out. Okay, Andrew. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. And then another thing we can do is level 40 in Johto is pretty high level, so we don't need Parasect getting any more levels, but it does have the EXP share, which I can take and I can put on. Oh my god! Let me do some menuing here. But I can start getting Togepi some levels. Hopefully, evolve it soon. No, the repel will be nice for later. I'll keep the repels. Gosh, there's nothing I want to sell. Oh, there you go. Final Airs at the same market Microsoft wants after they butcher the Xbox brand and Valve drops the... That is very funny, because you're right. Like, I think that's what Microsoft is trying to do. They're trying to pivot to like, well, where can we win? Oh, I don't know. How about PCs, where your software has always been anyway? And yeah, I think Valve is going to win. And I kind of do love how, in the end, it seems like overall, like, Linux will somehow, like, win. It's so funny. Well, I mean, it's kind of what Microsoft gets. And look, that's a local company for me. I'm a Washington boy. But Microsoft has been fumbling for a long time, especially in gaming. I love my Steam Deck, and I've been wanting a gaming OC, but haven't done anything about it. So the Steam system may be for you. There you go. It's said to be 6 times powerful, more powerful than the Steam Deck. That's pretty powerful. It's not like the Steam Deck is garbage, you know. I love my Steam Deck too. I absolutely love it. My girlfriend, I love it so much. I bought the original one, the souped up original one, and then I bought the souped up OLED one, and I gave her my old one, and now she games on it all the time. And she's discovering, you know, so she'll play games that I recommend sometimes, but she's been discovering games for herself on Steam, you know, girly games and stuff. But it's cool. It's hip. If it plays fighting games without any problems, well, I'm sure the Steam machine will play without any problems. I can't speak on the Steam Deck though, but I can almost guarantee it's gonna play fighting games on the console version just fine. I don't know why it would have any issues. They were talking about how great the latency is between the controllers and stuff. Wait 2 years for the Pro version, right? Yeah, even Valve is susceptible to that. For me, the OLED Steam Deck was so much better, too. I had to get it. I had to have it. Let's catch some bugs. I don't remember the Pokeball at the bug catching contest being gray like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you're right, Wiz. So it logs in that I've caught this, which is good. Nothing was more telling about Microsoft priorities than the first 10 minutes of the Xbox One reveal. If someone wants to game offline, we have talk for that. That was actually after. That was actually after the reveal. I made a video on that, by the way. I was reacting to the thing that happened in 2013. Yeah, Chad, I was in the military at the time, and I was just like, so I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was an Xbox 360 boy. I felt so like betrayed, and he was so scummy and like nasty when he said it. And I remember the reporter being so like looking at him like, you shouldn't have said that. And I remember thinking like, it's funny, I was an Xbox boy. I loved my 360, but I also like very clearly knew, I was like, Microsoft's in third, you know what I mean? Like they're on the come up, you know. And back then I was more like, even though I still was like a PC gamer back then, I was, you know, I was hoping Microsoft would catch up to like Sony at least. And then after that, I was, but anyway, so I knew that, and I go, where in Microsoft's mind, or at least Don Matrick's mind, who led Xbox by that point, who told you that you were like in a position of power and that nobody could go game anywhere else? It's like that's how that he would behave if Nintendo went out of business and Sony somehow gave up on making consoles. Then he can act like, well, you have no choice, you have to buy our console. Like, you're in third place, we have other places we can go, and you're acting like you're acting like we don't. I just never, I don't know. Don was crazy. Battery life, which is game dependent. If say I'm playing Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, I'm good. If I try to play Baldur's, correct. So like Phantom, if I play, because I used to have to take 13-hour flights to get to work, because I worked overseas. My Steam Deck, if I played emulators or like you said, something that was not very demanding, my battery life was great. I mean, incredible. Could probably do the whole flight easy. And because you don't want to kind of disturb people around you, you can lower the brightness, which made lower the brightness, your battery is even way longer. But yeah, if you play something that's more demanding, it's like the battery life on the Steam Deck is probably like an hour and a half or 2 hours if you play something like really demanding. What's up, Stellar? How you doing? Thank you for the compliment. Your name looks stellar. Yes! I'm looking for a Scyther. Wes, if you're in chat, I got one for you. I can't test it because my girlfriend has my Game Boy SP. Can the Game Boy Advance player on the GameCube transfer? Because it looks like it has a link cable port. Can it communicate with another SP? Because it would be cool if I could catch the trading animation for the video. Xbox was running the show till they went all in on the Kinect. Been declining ever since. Well, what do you mean by running the show? They were never like second or first place. Here's how I describe Xbox as a brand going into the Xbox One era was they were riding a lot of momentum. And I was like, maybe they could surpass at least Sony in this next console generation. I mean, it would have taken a lot. It was a long shot. Sony's a powerful company too. As far as we're talking gaming here, not like big Microsoft. We're talking gaming departments. You know, and then Nintendo stumbled with the Wii U. So there was so much like laid out for Microsoft. And maybe that's where they got this like air of like confidence. Cuz I still try in retrospect to understand like their behavior. I best win for the Sunstone, I know. So right now the #1 Pokemon is Butterfree, but I'm hoping I can use it like a Scyther or something. When they made the offer for Donkey to create videos on games, he did exactly that, and they removed them from his catalog. Wait, what are you talking about? Wii U marketing was so bad, nobody thought it was its own console. I genuinely think it was underrated. I really like the Wii U. I liked the Wii U because I made it like it was nice for buying digital like older games like Link to the Past and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool like has a retro console feel, right? What sucks about the Wii U now is unless you hack it, you can't download your games anymore, which I guess is kind of an indictment on the console, but kind of isn't. Because like if Nintendo just allowed you to download if they respected your purchase, which they don't, I'd still say I like the Wii U. I also don't love that the Wii U has like so many like peripheral things. If I pulled out my Wii U right now, like, and I'm probably gonna use it to play Twilight Princess if I do a video on that. You guys realize how much like shit it has for it, right? There's like 10 different like wires and different peripherals it uses. Never had a GameCube, but I'm sure if GB Link cable fits the port, it should work. Okay, we'll find out. Parasect has already been a champion. I knew this was gonna be a good idea. I knew you were him, Parasect. Hey, I know you. Wii U is great for Xenoblade Chronicles. Oh, that's another series people want me to play. I'd like to play that. I enjoy thinking back on the Sony vs. Microsoft wars when I was in high school. Friends arguing which was best turned to ask me, and all I could respond was, I don't have a dog in this race. Yeah, I was like, oh, Xbox rules. But the truth was I was like mostly a PC gamer anyway. Yeah, but I remember those arguments. And by the way, like, can we admit each console, you know, Microsoft, Sony, if it's between those two, they both had like banger exclusives, but there were few and far between. Like 90% of the library for both was the same games, right? The thing that will have me buying Nintendo products probably for a while to come is its IPs that they refuse to put on anything else, which I totally understand, because it creates things like with me where I'm like, well, I want to play Pokemon. I want to play Zelda. I'm interested in playing, you know, Fire Emblems, and you know what I mean? Like, there's so many games where I'm like, they've got a great catalog, where the reason why Microsoft starts putting Halo on Sony products is because they're kind of struggling. The modern gaming space is entirely anti-consumer, with lone exception being Steam. And even then, Valve is getting bullied by payment processors, so I think it's a matter of time. Yeah, I know. Well, I get scared about what happens when Gavin passes away, you know? He's older. Like, because if someone isn't like him and they come in, even though they're a private company, they come in and they're just like, yeah, you can start paying us a monthly fee to access your games. What's to stop them from doing that? The payment processor thing is so funny. Like, that feels like, it almost feels like illegal. I think it was. Didn't they backed off of trying to do that? The game player should be trade between Pokemon games. I remember doing it so as a kid when I had it. Also respect for having the dusk. The console war was essentially based on solely on a few IPs, yeah. Yeah, Microsoft lost me during the Xbox One reveal. I literally, because if I remember correctly, you actually could pre-order an Xbox One before that presentation happened on Amazon. So I had pre-ordered, I didn't pay for it, like, because the way they did it back then, like, you didn't pay the full price yet. It was like right before it shipped, and it might be the same still. Right before it shipped, then it charged you the price or something like that. So I think it was like you had to pay like $5 to pre-order. So I pre-ordered, I watched that reveal, and I was so disgusted, and I felt so betrayed. I canceled that one, pre-ordered a PS4. I think Gaben's son was taking over. I could be 100% wrong, but I think Gabe has been in charge for a while now. He has set up nicely, and as long as they keep... If that's the truth, then I feel comfortable, and hopefully he follows his father. They make enough money where I don't think they ever need to go public, so they should never have to answer to shareholders. I don't think they should ever go public. If they do, I'd buy shares, but to be honest with you. Because I'm just saying from like a stockholder perspective, oh my god, if they ever do decide to like be scummy, they're going to make a lot of money. Because they're going to have people like me who have had accounts for 20 years, and they're going to, if they go down the scummy route, they'll be able to say, yeah, if you want to log into your account, start paying us $5, $10, $15, $20 a month. But Livid, you already bought the games, you already have them. There's nothing saying that they can't charge you to log into your account. That you have to have some type of subscription, or you can only download a few games a month without a subscription. There's nothing saying you can't do that. Valve not being public is their winning strategy, literally, because the beauty about not being public is that you don't have to answer. Some of these companies still have boards, but they're not like, there's not some kind of fiduciary responsibility to a public shareholder group that says you need to have increasing revenues. And if you don't, that you're committing some type of fraud, you know? And it doesn't mean that they're not making money. I'm sure people within that company are making tons of money, but like, and as long as they are, they're probably always going to be happy. It's basically pleasing a very, very, very small group of people rather than pleasing literal millions of people who might buy your shares in your company. There is no pressure to have increasing revenue every quarter. You know what I mean? I'm just looking for a Parasect or Beedrill. Parasect... Oh, sorry. Not a Parasect. I'm looking for a Beedrill, there, and a Pinsir. Can it survive a leech life? Just one? Can you survive one leech life? Oh! That was sketchy, I know. I don't know, I think that would violate anti-consumer laws in such a way they would open themselves up for substantial litigation on previously purchased, but nothing says they couldn't implement that. You know why you're wrong, Chad? Because Nintendo's done it 3 times. Nintendo has... You could buy products on their consoles, and then they say, we're not going to support those consoles anymore, and there's no way to play your digital games. And they don't offer it on the Switch. So, like, they cut... You bought digital full games on your Wii, your 3DS, or your Wii U. They say, we're not servicing those consoles anymore. And they don't give you that same availability. Here, listen to what I'm saying. On the Switch 1. Like, for example, if someone's gonna be like, well, you could play the Switch, you could play Link to the Past on Switch 1. Do you get the full game that you already paid for that is not tied to a subscription? No, you have to... It's like, it's basically a different payment entity. Even though you already bought Link to the Past on Wii U, like I did. It's not like, hey, welcome to the Switch 1. You could download all the games you've had before because you paid us already. They're like, no, you're just like everybody else. You can pay for our subscription to play that game. You've lost so much money on 3DS and Wii U. Yep. Nintendo has always had the worst shop menu in the history of gaming. All the AI trash and Nintendo eShop is insane. That's why you mod your consoles. Right. I mean, that's not really a response to, like... That's like, we can figure that stuff out, but the general public is not going to have any clue on how to do any of that. And that's not a... I don't know. I don't think that's like a good defense of like Nintendo. Well, you can always just mod the console. It's like, it kind of gets past the point of you shouldn't do that in the first place. Well, I would love to have a Switch 2, had a 3DS emulator, and you could play your old games that way. Only in an ideal world, that would never happen. If there's no way to sell it back to you, they would never allow you to like play your old stuff. That's what Wes and I disagree. Wes believes that they're going to reveal some type of like virtual console for the old games on the 30th anniversary in February. I don't think they are. I think that's the last thing they want to do anymore. They don't want you to play old games. And gosh, I hope I'm wrong. I'll be the first one to hit up Wes. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so happy you're right, dude. I can't wait to play Red and Blue and Gen 2 on Switch. Dude, especially if they get into like Gen 3 and 4 on Switch 2. Oh my god, dude. And if they make it compatible with like transferring to home, I mean, come on, what are we talking about? Come on. I've started using ROMs emulators exclusively for Nintendo games because I don't have the access to all my things. I'm not spending money. I'll pay for games on other consoles. Here's my policy. Because Valve has earned my trust, I purchase games on Valve product, or I purchase games on Steam for discounts, emulate when I need to for other things, like especially if they make me jump through a bunch of hoops to play something. Like somebody who was mentioning, what series were we talking about last night where there's something where it's still only on the 360. Like, yeah, I might go to my retro game store and pay to have that, but if it's too difficult, I'll just emulate it. I have no qualms about it. I mean, if you really think about it, nobody's really losing money in that situation because it's not like I'm paying. It's not like I'm paying Microsoft for that 360 game anymore. It's all the transaction is at the middleman level. So my policy is I buy things on Steam when they're on a pretty good discount, or I was buying physical Nintendo products. But now that we're shifting away from physical on this in the Switch 2 era, right? Because what did I say? In my video about Switch 2, people were like, because I was complaining about this whole key card thing. I'm like, you know, this is like the beginning, right? Like, this is gonna expand. They're like, oh, shut up, dude. It was only third-party games. Stop spreading lies. I'm like, well, it's not really lies. It's a prediction. I believe that they're gonna widen this. They're gonna do it on third-party games, and then they're gonna eventually gonna see Pokemon, Zelda, Donkey Kong on these key card things where the game's not even really on the cartridge. It just, I think that is like deliberate. Because you might think, well, at that point, just sell it digitally. But it's like, they want to fool people who buy it physically. They want to fool you thinking that you own the game, like you have the game. When you don't. Did I literally catch Pinsir on the last ball? Guys, I also think I was able to catch... I think I was able to catch everything in one go. Yeah, DS emulating is funny. DS emulating is beautiful for Nintendo in one way and terrible for them in another. How are you gonna, like, have a really good fluid way? I mean, it's possible. The Switch, it has a touchscreen, right? Right? Doesn't it? The Switch has a touchscreen? I don't remember. It's hard for emulating it, which is great for Nintendo, right? But it's also hard for them if they ever want to put their old games on something. Placing third was Picnicker Cindy, who caught a Metapod. Pff, rookie. The score was 308. Placing second, Cool Trainer Nick. So I'm first. Who caught a Scyther? I'm first, baby. Let's go. I have the heart of a champion. Sunstone. Dude, hell yeah. Sunstone is, it's... The only thing that can evolve from it in this gen is Sunkern, right? I won by 2 points, hell yeah. What's up, Big Don? Yeah, the only problem is the games that have the top-down view, like Sonic Rush. I still want it, though, yeah. Yes, this is Big Don, yeah. That's why, Big Don, I say in the thing, I say original cartridge, but I'm trying not to say original hardware, because it's not on, like, a Game Boy or something. But I guess the Game Boy player is it's original, but... Oh, Blossom, thank you. Gloom, okay. You guys are right. You guys are right. So hold on, I'm gonna have to win 2 bug catching contests. Gosh darn it. Unless it was a trade. No, I think everybody in chat's right. I think it's another Sunstone one, which is a little annoying. I mean, we could start a playthrough on Gold or Silver today too, because we need to do that anyway, and we could probably do the other contest to get the other stone. For now, we'll put Pidgey away. Where are you? Sunkern, there you are. Come here. Come here, boy. I knew what you meant. I'm not one of those types to be like, technically, oh, Big Don, thank you for not being that way, but don't worry, I've been forged in the fire of YouTube. I get actuallys a lot. And I get actuallys where they're actually wrong. I was built for this, okay? So don't worry. I loved Gold growing up, but never got around to Crystal. Really? Do you know the differences? They're not too insane, but Crystal's cool. If Nintendo dropped Gens 1 and 2 on NSO with connectivity to stadium games and home, I'd love that. It'll never happen though. Now, okay, let's go with the scenario that they add 1 and 2 on NSO. I do believe there's a possibility of connectivity to home. It'll never happen to Stadium, though. I don't think they'd bother integrating it like that. Because that would be catering to such... I mean, we'd love it, right? I'm not saying I don't want it. So understand that when I say this. I'm saying they would never cater to people like you and me. Like, we account for, like, probably, like, 3,000 people in the world who would ever do it. I just pulled that number out of my ass. I don't know. I'm saying, though, that they... Yeah. So that bug catching contest was extremely successful. We caught, or sorry, so we didn't catch them permanently because you can only keep one, but it doesn't matter because everything else we caught, like we even got Beedrill and Butterfree, so we got the whole line of things. So I think maybe I'm missing a Weedle or something. I can get that in the wild, but Pinsir and stuff, we don't need to hold on to that because in this generation, or any generation, Pinsir doesn't evolve permanently. Scyther was important because, one, we won the contest with it, but two, we have a metal coat to trade it to get the Scizor. So true. That's the journey of being a content creator. I know some of the basic differences. Nostalgia for this game is too real for me. Yeah, dude. I mean... I can't get enough. Somebody was asking yesterday, like, how do you play these games? It's so much different because they said they started in Gen 3. I'm like, well, I mean, it's kind of had to be there, you know. I do still think these games are fun. I've been talking about my girlfriend playing. She's playing Blue for the first time, and it's clunky, you know. And I never would deny that it's clunky for its, you know. You kind of have to know its nuances, and it's like a face only a mother could love at this point. But no, Gen 2 rules, dude. One of the most underrated things about how gorgeous it looks when played at night. I've been thinking about it more and more. Why didn't they just do Legends ZA like Johto? Because like, I feel like Johto is like... You know what I mean is in the same style as Arceus. Because Johto is like that classical, traditional Japan vibe, which kind of Arceus went for. You know, I know it was like the, basically the story of inhabiting Hokkaido. But they could have done that same concept for the Johto region, like thousands of years before. That would have been so cool. Watching them build the towers for the first time. Do I want to ruin Joe? You're right. After hold on. After ZA, no, I don't want them to do it anymore. Red and blue would be the hardest to get into, but I think gold and silver are still great and not too difficult. Well, that's what I keep. She hasn't vocalized any like, oh, I don't want to play anymore, or like, or I'm not having fun. So hopefully she's still enjoying it. Tegrity, thank you for the follow. I like your name. Anyway, I keep telling her, I'm like, listen, if you do end up, when we finish Blue and you liked it, I'm like, I'm telling you, you're gonna love like Generation 2. Things are gonna be more intuitive. The information is gonna be easier to get within the game. So I said, you're only gonna keep liking the series as we play more and more. And she's like, okay. So she's willing to see it out. And by the way, a big change was she learned like classical things that we had to deal with. Like she has my Game Boy SP and she was like moving and the cartridge moved when she like pushed it on a cushion and her game froze after she got through the rock tunnel. And she was really disappointed and bummed. So when we hung out next, I helped her. I did it for her really quick because I'm like, I'm gonna breeze through this. But I said, do you really care about like transferring? You know, if you beat this Pokemon game, do you care about sending these Pokemon up to the next generation? Because I can have her play Gold and Silver or Crystal. You're welcome. Came from your YouTube video. Thank you, Integrity. Appreciate you, man. Which one did you find me on, if you don't mind me asking? So she said she didn't care. She's like, oh, I don't care about that. So what I did was I put Crystal, Gold, Silver in Generation 3 on her Steam Deck. So at least for the next couple generations, she could play there. And when she saw Crystal on the Steam Deck, one, it looks fantastic on the deck for some reason. Like, I know it's not like it's going to look any better than it did, but for some reason, it just looked, the display on the Steam Deck, it looked incredible. And then she was very impressed of the leap of from Game Boy to Game Boy Color. And she's like, wow. She's like, these were the games that came out after the originals. So I was like, yeah, this is Gen 2. She's like, it looks, she was talking about the cutscene. She's like, this is like, it wasn't anything like this in Blue. I'm like, I know. It's a total leap. Even as a Persona fan, I've been campaigning against the Switch 2 remaster because it's stupid. Its stupidity is multifaceted. It's a digital key card, which is however, also a full price, and DLC is separate. That's crazy. It's definitely a slow process getting your lady into things. I went to trivia night for DBZ, and now mine wants to watch DBZ. Pokemon is next on the list. You know, I used to think it was just my girlfriend, but like now, your girlfriend kind of sounds like it, or wife. I don't know. And my buddy's girlfriend is like this, but women are really cool about like when they like their man, they want to get into their things. Because I'm always like trying to. She claims she doesn't have any hobbies, so I'm always offering. I'm like, let's go do. I know she likes baseball. She likes baseball, so I've been getting into baseball more, and we've been enjoying that. But she like really likes my hobbies. She wants to learn more about my stuff, and so she played the Fallouts, and I uploaded those videos on the channel. And now we're in Pokemon. And I think it was Eon Kane suggested me playing Stardew Valley, which is like one of her favorite games, and then her interviewing me. I like that idea. We've already played together a little bit, but I still like that idea. Each generation, yeah, Eon Kane, exactly. The generational leaps from Gen, like, I mean, you still had leaps, but maybe not always in the best directions after Gen 5. But the leaps from Gen 1 through 5 is like, each one is substantial, and it feels like totally different. I've been watching a lot of them over this week, to be honest. They've been my melatonin. I think the first one was X and Y, but I've watched loads of them now. Thank you, Integrity. Appreciate you. Your melatonin. Well, thank you for saying that. I want to be in the category of fall asleep too. I know I get excitable sometimes and I joke around, but overall I try to keep the volume consistent with like me and the music, because I want to be in the you could put it on before going to sleep category. I don't want to be too like, hey guys, welcome to the channel, and jump cuts and crazy editing. Totally get into things when they really like you. It's one of the best feelings. Yeah, I agree. She likes baseball. Fucking marry that woman tonight. Yeah. Yeah, she likes baseball. And not like flippantly. Like she like knows stuff. And like when we were watching the World Series, because that was an awesome World Series. Sorry if you're from Canada, but that was an awesome World Series. And I was watching her react to things. Like I mean, I'm a novice, but to me it seemed like she was so knowledgeable because she was reacting to things that at first I was like, why is that a big deal? But I didn't even say it, and I kind of figured out, like, oh, she caught that like 30 seconds before I did. That's crazy. Where am I going? Okay, so we did the enough about women. We're trying to catch Pokemon. So I did the bug catching contest, which was a rousing success. Ooh, tomorrow's Friday. We know what that means. Lapras. You want to go get my favorite Heracross? Wow, I just spoiled that. Want to go get my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon? Heracross? We can go to the Ilex Forest. We can get... God, more Pokemon at night only. Jeez. We can get a Pineco. Is there not a Heracross? I thought there was a I guess Route 34? What the hell? Where's the Heracross in Crystal? Route 42 west of Eckertique City. The trees behind Kurt's house in Azalea Town, and the trees north of... Okay. Brother, your retrospectives have been a slap ASMR since I found you 2 weeks ago. Thank you. Do I have a TikTok too? I do. I barely post anything on it. In fact, somebody's been chopping up my content. They've been crediting me, but they've been chopping up my Fallout content and uploading stuff, and I've been like, great, do it. They can have any money it makes too. I just want people to find the channel. That's all I care about. But thank you for saying that, Chad. Everywhere but the forest, awesome. I've been playing Rune Factory 4 because it's one of my girlfriend's favorite games too. My brother likes that game a lot. You got my Discord response about the trailer. What, where I said don't, or... I forgot what I said. What I like about your videos is you don't overanalyze these games. A lot of creators feel like unfairly critique these games from 2025 perspective and not 1998 or 2000s perspective. So yeah, I try to... Big Don, it's kind of weird because like I watched a... There's a guy named Hammers on YouTube, and he was replaying GTA 3, and he was kind of doing that. He's like, oh, but it doesn't have all these features and these things that I'm used to in modern gaming. And I was kind of watching it, and I was like, I don't... Okay, I do understand that if you're trying to explain it to somebody who's never played the game before, or a younger person, I do understand how it kind of falls on deaf ears when you're like, well, you have to understand this was a different time. It's like, that's not a good enough excuse for them sometimes. But I think if you're open-minded as a younger person or someone who hasn't played the game, or if you understand the times that we're in, like, meaning, you know, storage space on a game, or, like, just understanding that, like, gaming design in general progresses over time and gets better. Sometimes. Doesn't feel like it recently. Doesn't feel like it in the last 10 years. It feels like we're regressing. But, so, yeah, thank you for saying that. I try not to, yeah, I try not to try not to sound smarter than I am. Because I'm just some dude playing video games. And I try not to overanalyze like that. And I think people appreciate that. And it feels nice because it's so nice. It feels like there's no pressure when I write the scripts. I'm just like state of conscious, just like it's a flow. I don't know, and I'm not like, well, oh, maybe I should make this sound smarter. If I feel something, and I'm sure there's some videos where you can tell I like feel something, but it's raw. It's real. Like the Majora's Mask video. I always point to my Majora's Mask video. If you watch that whole video and get to the end, like, I get a lot of people said they love that video and the ending of that video. I feel it too. I watched it and it was like it wasn't even me. And I was like I felt something, you know? I don't always get that, and I don't think every video needs to be some like emotional roller coaster. But yeah, man, I just try to respect the audience. Wait, you already gave me a headbutt? When? That's why you only buy good indie games. Being open-minded is key. These older games required creativity for them to do things they did. Right, Big Dawn, I played Final Fantasy 1, even though it was a pixel remaster, so some quality of life features, things added. But I wasn't bothered by, you know, in fact, I wanted to play Final Fantasy 1 specifically because I haven't played that many JRPGs outside of Pokemon, really. I wanted to play a stripped-down version of a JRPG, and I wanted to watch not only Final Fantasy, but RPGs in general grow over time. You know, and I'm sure I'm going to get that same kind of vibe when I play the Dragon Quests. I guess I'm teaching Wesley Headbutt. So anyway, I went into it not like, well, I'm going to critique this on modern standards. Like, no. That's not. I don't think that's really fair. 100% we were regressing of recent times. Gaming is a mess these days. Retro is the only one. Yeah. You know what's funny is like I want to play new games too, and you'll see me every now and then. I'll post a video of a new game or something. You know, I played ZA. I might do it if I play the Digimon game or any other new game. I don't know. So I'm not like restricting myself, but I do feel great that there's so many great series that I have not played, not touched at all. And it feels like there's still an audience, and hopefully there'll always be an audience for people who want to play older games and retro content. And so I actually don't feel like, oh man, modern gaming sucks. There's nothing I'm going to be able to make content about in the future. It's like, I could just keep going backwards, really. I'm fine. I'll just keep going backwards. Play all the classics I've always heard about. I think your analysis is smart, but also at the same time approachable. Shows you truly know it, but also know how to synthesize it in a way anyone can understand. Thank you. I think that's what I meant, was like, I try not to sound too like I don't want to yeah, like I try not to sound too like smarter than I actually am. Try to just be authentic. I was just about to bring up how Dragon Quest, being an older JRPG, made you bring up a menu to interact instead of just pressing A, just a thing of time. Yeah. Yeah, Big Don, like Generation 1 does that, you know. In Generation 2, you could just click on something and it does the interaction. Versus Gen 1, you have to like bring up the menu and click cut. There's a ton of great new games. Yeah, yeah. I think just gaming in general has gotten so big that like and I don't know by percentage what we would call like bad studios or bad IPs now that were good IPs that were made bad. But I think because the landscape is so big now and mobile gaming's a thing, we have a lot more examples of bad games than we did ever, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that there aren't good studios and good games still going to be made. I think they're always going to be made. Playing through Ninja Gaiden 4 and the new Zelda Age of Imprisonment right now. How is, I don't know anything about Ninja Gaiden. How's Age of Imprisonment? $20.29 Dragon Warrior Monster video is going to go hard. My brother wants me to do this. He's a big Monsters fan. He's been playing since that game. Wasn't there one on the Game Boy? We're at the 42, by the way. DLC and greed are the problem in gaming right now, but those are still great games. There are still great games, yeah. What you just said about evolution in game design is why I'm almost dismissive of retrospectives of this IP in particular, if they weren't alive when the games were originally dropped. Yeah, I understand. I don't know. I don't... Some things that... It's hard, man, because sometimes... I don't want to be dismissive of criticism, because, guys, you know, I can be critical, okay? I can be a critical guy. I think, actually, even in my, like, very positive videos, I always have a little bit of criticisms for the Pokemon games. I always have some kind of, you know, because nothing's perfect. I'm not... None of my videos are perfect. Not every game is perfect. But I think... My mind is just wired to, like, I understand that this game came out in 1999 or 1998. Okay, 96 if we're being super technical for Japanese. Or Final Fantasy 1. It came out in 87. Like, I'm not going to be like, why isn't it auto-saving? Why do I have to bring up my menu? Age of Imprisonment is dope. I beat Breath of the Wild, but not Tears of the Kingdom, but I like the combat and story combo. It's one of those games that's perfect to play casually. Bethesda-ing. Okay, what do we... Oh, we're going for Heracross. I'm trying to look up where, like, percentage-wise the most common Heracrosses are. Okay, it's 30% all over the world. If you do Dragon Quest, can I suggest doing the port on Switch as opposed to the remake that just came out? Yes, but I want to hear the argument why. And it's, if you convince me, it's great because I already own the port on Switch. Wasn't it like a 3-pack, all the first 3 ones? I'm not saying the remakes are bad, but it sounds like there's enough content to justify separate videos or looks and even cross analysis. Okay, I just on like a desire of me creating something, I don't want to do like analysis content between 2 games. Like I like them as experiences. Like I play them and I talk about that experience. I don't really like doing like I don't like the idea of me doing like a comparison. Just on its face, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like I want to play through one, you know. But here's the thing, Phantom, is like I can always go back. I'm fine doing it this way. You know, I play maybe the remake version that just came out, right? But then as I build a following of people who like me for JRPGs, like me in general, or for Dragon Quest specifically, when I get to a certain point, I'm fine like going back and playing the Switch version, if that makes sense. Like, I'm having the dilemma with Persona 3. I don't know which one to play. And I'm kind of making a weird restriction for myself too, because I want to talk about a story back when the first one came out, but I want to play Reloaded. Or Reload. And I get different answers on which Persona 3 to play and why. And I don't want to play like 3 different versions to talk about my experience playing one of them, you know, and compare and contrast. I'd rather just like briefly mention it in the beginning of the video, like, hey, just so you know, this one has this stuff, this version doesn't have this stuff, but it adds that, something like that. And then later on, I can go back and play FES or the PSP version, or I don't know if those are the same. I'm talking nonsense. You know, it's cool that Bill calls you to warn you that you've filled up the box. Live it, just play Reloaded. I got you. I was just anecdotally talking about that. I think I've decided to play Reloaded. All right, Chad. Have a good night or day. Thanks for hanging out. I'm saying that as a Persona 3 boomer who does not like 3-letter. Wow, holy shit. I don't think I've heard you say you don't like it. That's a development. Eon, I stand by that new singer, dude. She rules. Not to say that first one isn't good. I like it because of very unique flaws that are only relevant to people that are turbo artistic and do not allow their nitpicks to enjoy certain parts of it. The new voice acting, 11 out of 10. They did a great job across the board. Phantom, if you're still there, I want to hear I mean, was that your reasoning? Just that they're different for the Dragon Quests? But having such an enjoyment of the original makes it impossible for me to enjoy the new music tracks when they play. I understand that. I don't think that's like whenever I talk about loving Gen 2 music, like a few people have been like, "Oh, it's so much better in the in Heart Gold Soul Silver." And I'm like, what are you talking about? The snail in your... Oh, IPOM, whoa. I completely forgot this thing existed. Nice. As a Persona fan, I get the confusion over 3. Atlas can't make a definitive version to save their lives. Thankfully, thus far, it's the only Persona entry with that issue. Yeah, we'll see with the 4th one though, right? Are you excited though? There we go. And it's already sleeping. Ay, ay, ay. You're not excited. It was blasted for looking bad. I want to watch it. We're going to watch the P4 trailer after this. Yeah, Game Freak is scripting this video for me, for sure. Get in the ball. Get in the ball. Air cross. Just do it, dude. Dude. Watch, I've been throwing Ultra Balls. Watch what happens when I throw a Great Ball. Great Ball first try, watch what happens. You want to talk about a script? Damn it. I'm too afraid to hit it with anything. It's only level 10. Even Leech Life, I think, would kill it. What's up, Final Blue? Good morning. Good day. God, sorry, 2 p.m. Jeez. I'm not sure if it was Gen 1 or Gen 2 where the Great Balls were actually better. So they're okay. They're better, like, efficiency-wise. I'm pretty sure Ultra Balls are still, like, if let's say, because let's not factor into money. I'm pretty sure if you had 100 Great Balls and 100 Ultra Balls, 100 Ultra Balls would still catch, would still have a higher success rate. But the issue is efficiency. That the percentage increase of an Ultra Ball compared to what the cost increase was, it made more sense to buy Great Balls. sick in bed today. Dang. Hope you feel better. You could just watch me lose my mind trying to catch this Heracross. Does that sound like a good day? I need to see more. I started with P5, so when I went back to P4, I liked the story, but the dungeons being hallways was kind of sad. So the question is if they make the dungeons real dungeons. I've played P5, but I got to the painter guy, and then I stopped. Not because I didn't like it, but because work was getting too busy. And I'm really bad with games. Like, it's kind of great how I make content, too, is like, when I play a game, I want to play it through and finish. If I ever have a hiatus from a game, I feel like I just want to start over because I forget like all of my characters' motivations. I forget what's going on in the story. I forget my own moves and like why I like certain moves. My mind does better when I could just like read the book through, if that makes sense. Taking no breaks. If they do, I'm hype. If not, I don't see I would buy it when I have 4 gold on my Switch and Steam Deck. Heracross! Why are you doing this? So in Persona 5, they were like, hey guys, let's use what we learned from Catherine the Great, the Catherine game to make a really good Persona game. Well, I don't know what the Catherine game is. Ugh. Yes! I think I can run into a Snubble here. Yeah, 30%. Hey. Dragon Quest, from what I gather, the remake expands the story, changes the game to be more linear than the original, and its port was very open-ended. Everything added on top. So it sounds like if I played the Switch ports, that would be a more faithful representation of the first one then, right? So I might choose those if I start the Dragon Quest series. It would be like if you did your Pokemon Gen 1 experience using the Pokemon Let's... Yeah, so that's a great comparison. And that's what I worry about, like, with the Personas. I guess I'll just try not to frame it as, like, I'm playing the original Persona 3. You know, like, I'll just frame it, like... I'll even say it in the video, like, this is my introduction to the series. Like, I'll give my perspective on that. Eon Kane is saying it's good enough. So, hopefully people will be alright with it. But I appreciate, Phantom, I appreciate you bringing that up. I need that help, because I don't know all those things. Whoa. Hoot hoot during the day. Crazy. Come on. I don't know. I'm very biased with the Dragon Quest remakes because one of my favorite artists who had the picture perfect Akira Toriyama art style at a level where he did the title art. Can you explain more about that? Got hoot hoot. Oh, you can do spinner rack too, dude. Headbutting is great because you don't need to wait till nighttime to get spinner rack or hoot hoot. Hanko! Bagworm. It spits out a fluid that it uses to glue tree bark to its body. The fluid hardens when it touches air. Oh, that's crazy. So it's like it's not a pine cone. Interesting. What's up, Alex? I feel like Gen 2 had such a great job making base Pokemon cute, and then their evolutions dangerous looking. Example, Hoo-Hoo and Noctowl and Spinarak and Ariados. Well, Gen 1 did a great job of that too because so my girlfriend likes cute things and she's been playing blue. She picked Squirtle because I agree Squirtle's probably the cutest base form. And she saw what they all evolve into, and that's kind of what Gen 1 does with those, is like they look cute and then they get like really badass. And she was so disappointed when she saw Blastoise. She's like, "What?" She's like, or no, even it started with a War Turtle. She's like, "He looks way too like dangerous and bad, like a bad boy and cool." She wanted War Turtle to be cute. Yeah, she never. I don't think she ever got a Magikarp. Her team's really cool. I haven't seen it in a while, but oh, I forgot to put this thing to sleep. She chose War Turtle. I think her favorite Pokemon is Clefairy. So she caught a Clefairy. I helped her evolve it into a Clefable. She has a Flareon, a Diglett, and she wants to have a Snorlax. And I'm letting her have fun. Like, I'm not gonna be like, you know, because I guess Flareon's like, oh, the worst ever fire type or whatever, and she already has a normal type, so why does she need a Snorlax? I'm letting her just play. I'm not gonna ruin it for her, you know. And Gen 1, I mean, Pokemon in general, for casual, is easy. Not easy, but she can still beat the game with a team like that. The only thing I kind of nudged her, because I think she either found Ice Beam or we bought Blizzard or something, and I know it was Ice Beam, and I taught her Blastoise Ice Beam because I don't think she was gonna have anything else that would know an Ice attack, and I wanted her to be prepared for the Elite Four. So that's the only thing where I kind of intervened a little bit. Execute good in the ball. Execute good in the ball. Does look maximum via Ice Beam. War Turtle looks like a bad boy. Show her a Squirtle Squad from the anime, please. I don't want to ruin her perception of Squirtle. I don't want her to know the truth. I'm not going to release the Squirtle Squad files. Get in the ball. Executor, you're playing hard to get, and like I really don't even, dude. I really don't even care about getting it, you know? Just getting the ball. Just the Squirtle Squad emails, yeah. Redacted, of course. It won't even say Squirtle. Why are you being hard to get? Why are you teasing me? You're saying you know that person, Young Kane? So one thing I neglected to do all game is collect numbers. I've collected pretty much no numbers in this game, so that's gonna make it hard to get evolutionary stones and to get swarms, I think. Because that means Yanma is gonna be 1% rather than 30%, which is fun. Oh boy! Oh, you're saying they're faithful to Toriyama. I couldn't tell if you were saying you didn't want to play the remakes because of that, or you did because it looked like Toriyama. I know a handful of artists, but that's more of just enjoying their art and or importing them. Gotcha. What the fuck is going on? It's an execute! It's resisting me like it's a Lugia. Oh. If you do reload, it has the option now to use the original P3 tracks and not the remixes. I want to use the remixes. Sorry, I've been listening to... It's funny, haven't beat any of the Persona games. Been listening to the music from all of them for the past, like, 5 or 6 years. Because it's so good. Dude, you may think this is like a work. I'm going to smash this controller across my face. This execute is pissing me off. Get your ass in the ball. Thank you. Oh. Use so many great balls. I gotta go buy more because I'm paranoid. Even though I have like 50 left. If I get a couple more execute encounters, if they kept going like that, I'm gonna be out of money real quick. You know about the moves false swipe? Takes them down 1 HP, doesn't let them faint. Yes, but Parasect in this generation doesn't learn it naturally, and there's no TM for it in Gen 2. You would have to have a Pokemon that has it, and or you could breed for it. Like I think you can technically breed for a Parasect with false swipe, but that'd take a lot of time in itself. And then also like a Pokemon like Scyther, who I believe can learn false swipe, doesn't learn a move that could put them to sleep. I would prefer putting them to sleep, as like if I had to choose one or the other, low health or putting a status condition on them, I'd rather put them to sleep with Spore. Persona music is amazing. 3, 4, and 5 have been on my playlist for years now. 5 Royal has some of my favorite songs. Yeah, I even added music from the spin-offs. So I have a question. Didn't like the composer leave though? The longtime composer for Persona left. That kind of scares me. I might start trying to take out random Pokemon too, because Togepi has EXP share on it, and I can start getting some experience on Togepi. Maybe it'll evolve. Do you not have 50 hours to breed the perfect Parasect with False Swipe to then cut down the time it takes to catch Pokemon by 2 hours? Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I was like, you have to have like a male Scyther with False Swipe and breed it. I forget what something else, like a female Parasect. And I was like, I mean, now that I say it out loud, I guess it doesn't seem like so crazy. I'll be alright. It shouldn't scare you. He still does freelance, but more than unlikely he'll be working on it without us till the end of time because it's the only way Uematsu Square Enix. Yeah, Alexander. That's kind of what I like came to was I definitely see the logic in getting False Swipe as well, because then you can just compound with the status condition. Didn't wanna, you know. Luckily for me, Spore, like I intentionally went and got a Parasect because Spore I think is like 100% to land, which is why only like Parasect and a few other Pokemon have it. Because they have to pair it with a bad Pokemon, of course. But oh my god! That's a 1%. Oh, Alexander, then I guess like even if I were to start now, I know you're already agreeing with me, but I was thinking about it, I was like, well, you know, maybe it's not as hard as it sounds. Then I'd have to train it up to like level 30 or 40-ish 40 because, like, you know, like most of the Pokemon we're gonna be catching are in Johto, and 40 for Johto is actually pretty high level. Did any of you guys get into the Total War series at all? Any Total War fans? Let's go! Not worth the grind, but man, I was a kid completing the Pokedex. I love False Sweat combo. Granted, I was a kid and had nothing but time to grind. Yeah, I know, dude. There's some things in games today where I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna take so long. Or like, I remember doing certain challenges when I was a kid and thinking, like, yeah, you just felt like you had all the time in the world. I remember thinking a weekend was like so long. Okay, Abra. Get in the ball. Don't wake up and teleport away from me. I'm gonna be angry. Sick. The level 9 sound. That's crazy. I honestly didn't know about that. Level 9 Salamence is insane. I know it's not quite what you were talking about, but the one thing I like about Scarlet and Violet, and I don't know if I like it or if I just like that they experimented with it, but the idea that you can go off in any direction from that central area, because you could do crazy things. Like I created a whole team of dragon Pokemon. I'd never done that before, but you can do it. It's kind of cool. There you are. All right. The only other thing we can catch here is we can get Jigglypuff here, 5%. And we're moving along. What's Total War? It's a turn-based grand strategy game that goes into battle scenes where it's like thousands and thousands of troops at once. It's really cool. Oh, I want to watch the Persona trailer. Why do people think that looks bad? I think maybe the character model kind of, because I remember playing the original. I guess he kind of looks awkward as like a normal sized person, because in you know, it's kind of like our, like their heads are a little bit, you know, they got big heads in the original. It kind of looks better than this, I guess, in that sense, the character design. I mean, are they trying to make everything fall in line with how like Royal looks? Is that the idea? I should replace Scarlet and Violet, but man, I'm still feeling the bad impression that was my first playthrough. In short, Scarlet Violet to me is Legend CA2. Phantom. Don't misunderstand me. I have a lot of issues with Scarlet and Violet too. I've only played through it once and I did not enjoy it. That's why I was like, one of the things I liked about it was kind of the experimentation with the kind of go in any direction you want. And the reason why I can't just say, oh, I like this should do this for now on, is because I guess I haven't thought about it enough to really know if like I do like that, or if I just like the idea, you know, in Pokemon. Like let's talk about Generation 2. You can't get Houndour till Kanto. That's crazy, right? So you basically don't get to play you can't play through the game with Houndour. And that's kind of like always the issue with Pokemon games, if they're really linear, is it doesn't give you opportunities to have certain Pokemon for your journey. So it's like by the time you catch them, if you're just playing casually, it's like, oh, okay, you're in Kanto. Here's your Houndour. Like, all right, like let me train it up for a little bit and beat like 2 gyms. You know what I mean? So I guess with Scarlet and Violet it was cool that you could kind of have anything you wanted on your team. You know, with some exceptions. People thought the Slugma was Gen 3. I guess I kind of think the Slugma is Gen 3. I know what you mean. You're saying that it's so obscure. People mistook it for Gen 3. I mean, I think I'm in that group. I think... Ooh. Ooh. Oh, we gotta raise the happiness on all of them. Happiness Pokemon are annoying. Sup, Ruham? I mean, I don't know much. I don't know how much I'd stake on people thinking Gen 10 that there weren't ever... What? Every gen has Pokemon that are like that. Like, apparently there are people who thought Metatite was Gen 4. How you sexy Gen? What's up, Ruham? Ruham, your complimentary comment... Keep doing that, because that drives a lot of interaction on videos for some reason. The comment you left on the Conquest video, like, people love it. How do those Pokemon want to be happy? It's just, why do they need so much to be happy all the time, man? You know, I forgot to get Kenya. What I'm talking about is I forgot to get Kenya for I'm doing like an in-game trade video, and I guess this is technically not an in-game trade Pokemon, but I still want to get the gift Pokemon too. But I forgot to get Kenya last night and transfer it up to home because I've done all of the in-game trades for Gen 1 and 2. Who? Let me look. Oh, thank you, Bruham. I feel that Houndour pain so bad. Tyranitar stand and waiting until Mount Silver to get it is cruel. Like, normally the happiness Pokemon have, like, really bad moves, too. Yeah. Who has Kenya? Do you guys know? Speak to the guard on the south gate. What? Okay, this guy. Hold on. I want to do this for, Hey, Stellar, I just want to tell you, if you look outside, he's my buddy locally. Stellar, I love this kind of rainy day. You know I love this, right? This is what I love about our beautiful home state. The muggy, dreary, rainy day. And I'm not being facetious. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and get Kenya. I'll send it up to home tonight. Like, I stole Shucky, too, and I sent it up to home. I'm keeping Chucky. I love Gen 2 so much. Always one of my favorite growing up. Definitely has some of my favorite designs. Also favorite water-type Pokemon Mantine. Gen 2 rules, dude. Alright. Kenya is ready to be transferred up. Got it. No, I'm not doing you a favor. I don't care about getting it on this cartridge. I already have a Spearow. I guess Kenya would have been nice to... It has an EXP boost so I can get a Fearow quicker if I wanted to evolve it through level up. Oh, I actually think I need the Nidoran line Pokemon. I'm right there with you. Good. I haven't watched the Conquest video, but I've seen it in Final Fantasy video to my... I've sent them my Final Fantasy video to my friends. Main group of friends are spin-off enthusiasts, and my sister is a huge retro Final Fantasy fan. Did they get back to you on what they thought? Thank you for sharing that, by the way. I think it's rare for people to share videos, and I really appreciate you doing that. Yeah, Base Phantom. Yeah, thank you. That's really nice. It helps the videos, I think, a lot. Eon Kane has done that too. I appreciate you guys who share it. I never ask people to share it. Maybe I should as a good YouTuber, but I guess I always feel like asking for a like, comment, and sub, I think is different. Asking for a share, it's like, if you really like it yourself, I think you'll share it. And I think, like, if I earn it that way without asking, for some reason, I don't know, I just make these moral rules out of nowhere in my head. I might stream again tonight after the football game. That'll be a great opportunity to do a lot of these. Oh, geez, come on. It might be a great opportunity to do the night Pokemon. My only issue is I just don't have enough people interested in the same stuff to often share videos. I understand. I totally get it. I feel like I have like one friend in real life for everything I like though, so it's like good enough. Like Stellar happens to like Pokemon. I feel like the rest of my friends don't really like Pokemon. And then I have another friend who like really loves Bethesda games. He doesn't really like newer Bethesda games, which I understand, but it's my same friend, by the way. My buddy, we always joke that he loves Fallout 3 and he thinks like Vegas is very mid, which I think is nonsensical, and we're always like giving each other shit. And I went to help him move into his first house. And I went up to his room, and it was so cool, man. It was like a time capsule to 2009 us. It was so cool, man. There was like our old LAN party equipment and like all these old games. And then I found where he put his old Xbox games and PC games, and there was 2 special edition New Vegas copies. And I looked at him, and I'm like, you piece of shit. I always knew it. You love New Vegas. And he just was laughing. He's a really pale guy, so his face got all flush red. I was like, you've been lying, dude. You love New Vegas. My body ain't watching no foosball. Oh, Bobby. God damn it. I know the reference. Sorry. My Bobby ain't watching no foosball. Mama said. Old Bobby Boucher. Can't wait to watch the rest of the second part of the stream at work. Cool. No, don't. Dude, you know what? What if I sold American football to you guys? Do you guys realize that American football is a turn-based strategy? You know that, right? You're missing out on a sport that's closest to video games. Every time the offense snaps the ball, that's a turn. They're taking a turn. They're trying to get it down to the end zone. And the outcome of that play is just like an attack. Sometimes it misses, sometimes it hits for a critical, like a touchdown. American football is a turn-based strategy game. It rules. Foosball is the devil! Dude, 90s Adam Sandler movies? Oh. I couldn't even bring myself to watch the Happy Gilmore Netflix movie. I'm like... It's almost like the universe balanced itself out with like 90s Adam Sandler and like 2010s, 2020 Netflix Adam Sandler. And then like the universe is now in balance of like amazing and shitty. Mama say for alligators is so mad all the time because they can't brush their teeth in their ornery. It's the mandula oblongata. No, Colonel Sanders, you're wrong. New Vegas truther. I have a funny KFC story. So you know how KFCs are like a franchise. In a town, Stellar, you probably don't know this. This is a legend in a nearby town. Stellar, think of the closest KFC. It's that town. So this town that I'm talking about used to be like a lot of farmland, but now it's like really come up, and a lot of people have moved out here, and like it's becoming like a bigger and bigger town. I'd still call it a town. It's getting close to being called a city, I think. I think it's technically called like the city of X, right? It'll be, but it's not really. But it is getting there. And anyway, there was like this really lucrative piece of land right on the highway, and KFC wanted to like it wasn't even a franchise KFC. They like a corporate KFC wanted to put a KFC right there, and they worked out a deal with the man because he was like, I mean, he had just like the perfect real estate. This is like late 80s, early 90s. He had the perfect real estate. Like, all of his land was like right off the highway, where you could build tons of strip malls and big stores and fast food joints. So everybody wanted this dude's land, and he got this deal. He leased the land. He got like a down payment. He leased the land, so his family will still own it, but it's for 100 years. So they're basically like, they're just leasing the land for the next 100 years. So we're only like 30 or 40 years into it. And one of the things was, yeah, it's a city. One of the things that was in the deal for the KFC was like, he wanted to have unlimited food. Like, I think it was within reason. And I heard about the details of this deal because my grandmother used to clean this guy's house. Very wealthy man, even before this. But like, one of the things he wanted was he wanted some kind of like card where he could go use it at that specific KFC and get food whenever he wanted to. But it was within reason. I forgot what it was. It was like, but he could go there like every day if he wanted to. But I thought that was funny. I think he's passed away since, by the way. But I too want to lease land and have KFC by the balls to make me chicken. This is something I aspire to, and I'm not ashamed of it. Okay, I still want to catch a Spinnerack. There's a 15% chance to catch a Spinnerack. I don't think I've caught one yet. KFC is so expensive, so that's honestly a good little perk, yeah. It's crazy how far prices on everything has come to where, like, growing up, it used to be if you wanted to eat healthy, at least where I grew up in the States, it was actually more expensive to buy healthy food, and it was like super cheap to buy fast food. And now, at least in my experience, like when I was doing keto, it was significantly cheaper to buy healthy. And like, fast food places act like they're like gourmet or something. They're, you know, one meal, like if you get like a deluxe meal at Taco Bell and like one other thing, because come on, you're always gonna get like a meal and something else, right? $30. I mean, what do we, $30? We do not have burgers at KFC. That's crazy that you even say that. They do that in Australia? You can certainly try to sell me in American football, but I'm skeptical. It never made sense to me, and living close to Cincinnati has taught me to not pay attention because they probably lost, yeah. Okay, that's rough. I'll give you that. But if you ever get into here's the thing, if you're ever interested, it's like the way to get into American football would probably be playing fantasy football, because then it makes you interested in all these different players, and it makes you interested in playing. You can watch any game, and it's likely it'll be relevant in some way to your experience. And it's, by the way, it's very easy. You're just picking players, and if they do good in real life, they do good in fantasy. It's very easy. But no, I get it. I mean, I didn't grow up watching it, really. And I fully admit, I didn't... my local team, the Seattle Seahawks, they were bad, like, my whole life, and they got really good, like, around 2010, 2011. And yeah, I started watching, because I was like, you know... I don't really think it's bandwagon, because it's not like I stopped supporting them after. I got into it, started to love it, started to understand it, started playing fantasy. Stayed with it even through bad years, so... Fast food meals are the same as like a casual restaurant. Red Robin, right. Like as far as price, yeah. KFC is like half of your KFC chicken and half chicken burgers of different variety. You know, I don't hate that. What's up, Love Yourself? Love Yourself, can we have, you and I have a way to communicate offline? Because I wanted to talk to you the other day. Just wanted to see how you were doing. Taco Bell is probably one of the weirdest places on how either you have the best visit of all time. Yes, Eon Kane. So that's how I've described Taco Bell. It's weird with Taco Bells. My Stellar, you can agree. I don't know if you agree with me, but the one closest to me, I think, is a great Taco Bell for the most part. I think the staff's good. They've never messed up my order, but I've been to some bad Taco Bells. I get a cheesy gordita crunch too. That's my dude. Let's talk about nacho fries. Nacho fries? I like how they try to be cute. They try to be like, oh, it's a seasonal items. Okay, first of all, potatoes are never running out. So you're playing coy with me, and I want to say Taco Bell, it's working. Because when we're in season for nacho fries, I stop being on any diet I'm on. I'm getting nacho fries. I never understood fantasy football. Like, American TV kind of made it seem like a jock D&D, but is it more like player draft? All like pick your favorite per position, and just hope they do well. So I don't blame you for thinking that, Brewham, because even Americans think that when they don't play fantasy. What they think of it as, I mean, yeah, basically jock D&D. They think the word fantasy makes them feel like it's like, oh my god, all these numbers and statistics and stuff like that. This is not a flex. That's a belt. I play in a 12-man league, which is higher than average, which means you get less good players. You kind of have to do your research. I barely do research. It's basically every time you go take a poop. It's like I research a little bit, and that's it. And I've won a championship, and I'm the highest winning percentage coach in the league, right? So no, it does not. I can tell you it does not take that much research. Probably, if anybody is spending too much time on fantasy, they're probably overthinking it. So anyway, to answer your question, this is how fantasy football works. It's very simple. When you start the season, you do a draft. So you and all your boys, random woman if she decides to play, maybe a wife or something. You draft a team of real players, right? And you do it in a snake draft usually, which is like, you know, if you're the first overall pick, you wait until it goes all the way to 12, and then 12 picks again. You go all the way back. So you don't get to pick for a long time, but you get the first pick. You do that until you fill up a roster. And there's different strategies on who to draft, whether it be the player or whether you want to get certain positions, you know? Like, for example, it's like quarterback in real football, like that you're watching the product. The most important position in football is the quarterback. That's the most important position, right? But it doesn't necessarily translate to fantasy so much. So you don't need to take a quarterback until kind of later in the draft. But some people think differently, and they want to take a quarterback really quick. So that's basically it. You said it yourself. You draft a team of real players, and however good they do in real life is they add points to your thing, and that's how good you did. It's all hands off. You pick your lineup for the week. You might have to make little changes here and there due to injury, but you just put the players in your lineup, and however they do in real life, it adds points to your score, and you're trying to beat somebody else doing the same thing for that week. The problem with potatoes, they have is that 90% of the time they're going to stay there when they cook them earlier in the day, yeah. Oh, my town just got a Wendy's, and my town welcomes anything new, because Wendy's lately, when I drive by it, first of all, I like Wendy's. The food has always tasted really fresh. But my town has been thirsting for something new for so long that I don't know if you guys have ever seen Chick-fil-A's. Brewham, do you have Chick-fil-A's in Australia? They're treating Wendy's like Chick-fil-A. Like, the parking lot is packed. They got employees, directing traffic. I'm like, there's no other Wendy's in America that looks like this. I love Taco Bell. I miss quesaritos. Nacho fries were my daughter's favorite. Nacho fries rule, dude. Love yourself. Answer me. I need a way. Email me or something. Hit me up, friend. Love yourself. What have you been working on? What content are you working on? If any. Dude, drafting with 12 people has to be a nightmare. I do a yearly league. League of Legends World Fantasy, but it's a lot of work. Drafting with 12 people is a lot, but, in the modern age, it's I love doing live drafts where you have real people there. I used to be a commissioner of a league when I was in the military, and we did a live draft it was a few hours before the Conor McGregor and Mayweather fight. It was so awesome. And we had Spanish people over that they loved. I'm a big pomp and circumstance guy, okay? I wore a blazer. I had like a mic set up, and we were doing a live draft and picking the players. It was like really funny because everybody's like arguing. And we had, a lot of the guys were dating Spanish girls, and some of them brought their brothers and stuff. And it was a great time. They were like, we kind of got them into American football too. They're like, what is this? And we're like showing them, and they were getting into it. It was fun, but it's hard to do now. Like locally, I would love to do live drafts every year locally, but I can't find enough people. So gathering 12 people internationally, though, from places you've been or people you've worked with, that's easy. Never forgot what Taco Bell took from us. 89-cent 5-layer burrito is like $4 now. Also, they did me dirty by removing the quesarito. You did? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't see it. Love yourself. It shows a wave, and then it shows the next thing you say is, I love Taco Bell. I miss quesaritos. That's what I have. Working on a Terraria video at the moment. Was going to jump on for a bit to get footage, but saw you were live, so I want to say hey. Thank you, man. I refuse to believe people are actually that rabid over Wendy's when you compare it to Chick-fil-A. That's the thing, Eon. I don't think in their right mind they are, but it's because our town is like clamoring for something new, and it's sexy and it's new. They're treating it like it's Chick-fil-A. Okay, thank you, love yourself. All right. Where are we going? Where are we going? A lot of stuff is locked behind being a morning or evening Pokemon. So I'm just kind of going through what else is available to us right now. We could do Poliwag and Poliwhirl at Ecruteak City. Been wanting a Wendy's for ages. I'm gonna go there when it dies down. The same thing happened with Carl's Jr. If you remember, I don't remember. I think I was in the military for Carl's Jr. I've never liked Carl's Jr. I went there one time as a kid. This is ridiculous, but follow me. I was a very picky kid, very picky eater. And Carl's Jr., they put jalapenos on my quesadilla, and I did not like jalapenos. And it forever soured Carl's Jr. to me. I was like, I'll never eat here again. Ever, ever, ever. They betrayed me. I was a big Whataburger fan until every time I went there to my most local place, they'd fuck up my order in a way that should be studied for future generations. It's not a chain, but there was a teriyaki place that I used to go to, and You should shoot for drama. There's a teriyaki place I used to go to in the next town over, and look, I'm sorry to be racial, but I'm gonna get racial here. When it used to be ran by like a Japanese family, and the teriyaki was great and the service was great, and then I've not seen them in years, so I don't know if they still own it or they sold it. But the people there now, there's a woman who works there, and she's so. I remember like 2 years ago I went there, and she was so needlessly like rude. Just she was like knacking her teeth and like rolling her eyes whenever she'd be asking, "Is that all? Is that all?" She was doing that thing where like you say, "Okay, I'd like a number one." And she'd go, "Is that all? Is that all?" Like that, like really intense. And I was like, I don't deserve that. So it was recently, I went there like a week or two ago, and I made my order because I wanted to try it again, right? So she's working there again. I remembered her, and so she's working there, and I make my order. She says for here to go, and I believe me, I said to go. I was intent on definitely leaving. I wanted to go home, and like I think football was on. I wanted to like eat and watch football, and I remember saying the words to go, and she goes okay. So then I'm sitting there waiting for my food, and she comes around the corner with it on plates. It's all on plates with silverware. And I was like, oh, no, I said to go. And I said it really nice. She goes, oh. So she was about to serve it to me, right? The food is ready. But then she is talking to the person, and I'll just say she spoke Spanish. And I can understand just a little bit. She was saying, such and such a key. She's like pointing at the receipt. She said, a key. Like he said he wanted to eat here. And I'm thinking, it doesn't matter what you put on the receipt. You put the wrong thing on the receipt. Like, she's looking at the receipt as if it's, like, biblical text. Like, it's a commandment. Like, well, if it says he wanted to eat here, he must have wanted to eat here. It's like, you're the one who input here when I didn't say that. So, they make me wait for 10 minutes for no reason. I'm just standing there, kind of staring, and she, like, put the food behind the counter and was like, hopefully they don't spit in it. And it was ready already. They just got to put it in the thing. So I'm waiting there, and she like hands it to me, and she's like, I was like, okay, you know what? Never going there again. If I walk into that teriyaki place, and there's not a sweet Japanese couple running the restaurant, I'm out. Yeah, I should have just taken the color. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the thanks. I've done Pokemon drafts before, and that's a ton of fun. Though lost next to every match because for some reason I could not play draft competently. Phantom, the closest I've ever gotten into... I never wanted to play competitive Pokemon. I don't think I have any interest in that. But watching it as a viewer, that's what got me into watching those draft leagues. Because I think that's really interesting. Watching people like draft their team and having different values on different Pokemon. And what round to get them. I'm like, this is all by the way, if you ever get into like drafting fantasy Pokemon, it's the same logic. There's like value plays, like, yes, this Pokemon is good, but should I take it up here or should I wait till it comes down here? It's all the same. It's the same logic in like American fantasy football. I can relate. My pet peeve is food places just throwing raw jalapenos on things and calling it spicy. No, it's not spicy. You just threw peppers on normal cheeseburger. Can I don't want to get political, but can we have a discussion about tomatoes? There is a difference between fresh tomatoes and what the texture is, what they taste like, and there's a difference between the products made from tomatoes. I don't like fresh tomatoes, but I like pretty much every other tomato product. I'm sorry, I didn't want to get political tonight, but those are my feelings. Competitive Gen 3 CU goes so hard. I used to hate that as a kid. My uncle, he would get me Taco Bell sometimes when I would work for my aunt, and I would say no tomatoes on the tacos. They'd be like, you like everything else with tomatoes. You like pizza. You like, spaghetti. He's naming all these products made from tomatoes. I'm like, no, that's not the same. He's like, it's literally the same. It's not the same, bro. He never understood me. No tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes? Y'all are crazy. It can't... Look, a tomato doesn't even know what it is. They call it a fruit? I don't care about distinctions of, oh, it has seeds. I don't care. Tomato should be a vegetable. I hate tomatoes on burgers or on sandwiches. I'll eat tomato wedges in salads, but otherwise, no thanks. I can't even do it on salads. I just can't do any fresh tomato. I feel like only starting like tomatoes in the last few years, almost 38. I don't think I'll ever like it. Now, I've come around to other things, like I enjoy mushrooms. There's also there's a tier where like my girlfriend insists I'm picky about certain things when I'm not. Like for example, I will eat. She thinks I'm picky if I order something without certain ingredients. She thinks I won't eat those ingredients ever, and I'm saying no. When I order it for myself, I just don't have those ingredients. Like one time, she got a pizza and she like wanted me to have a bite of it, and there was mushrooms on it, and I took a bite, and she thought she really swindled me on that one. She's like, oh, there was mushrooms on it. I'm like, you don't think I saw them? I was like, I'll eat it. I'm just saying, like, when I'm left to my own devices, I'm not going out of my way to add certain things. Like, for example, sometimes there's certain pizza joints where I just want a pepperoni pizza, and there's other ones where I want pepperoni I want, like, the meat lovers, you know? But it depends. I ordered tomatoes on Jersey Mike's before, and my wife didn't know about it and thought I was an alien. Cooked tomatoes are dank. Tomato products are great. Fresh tomatoes or anything... On anything got up. Thank you, Stellar. Thank you for being super logical. I love that Bill calls me every time I fill up the box. Guy definitely forgot to move the box. I have a preference. Sure, I won't die if I eat it, but I won't order it myself. Thank you. Yes, that's what I'm saying. I actually don't think I'm that picky anymore. It's just that, like, when I order something... Oh, something else that drives her crazy. She goes, it doesn't drive her... I'm exaggerating, by the way. She doesn't care. But, she thinks she's... Whenever we go somewhere, I always order the same thing. But she likes to experiment and have fun. She's you know, she'll order all sorts of stuff and experiment, right? And she'll even have me eat some of her food because she's like half my size, and I always eat it. I'm like, oh, that's good and stuff, right? She's like, why do you order? She's like, you always order the same thing when we go places. I'm like, yeah, because I know I like it. She's like, yeah, but don't you ever want to? I'm like, you always order something different, and I get to try your stuff. And then my point is, why go and pay for something, especially in today's climate, everything's expensive. If there's a risk that I don't like it. Yeah, Brewham, you know what, Bill, Brewham, Bill's getting a shout out in this video. I should have caught that on camera. Maybe I can just put him on screen. I'll put a PNG of him on the screen. You're out $20 to $30 for trying something, correct. I'm very picky about anchovies. I like them, but some pizza places cook them like shit, and they end up incredibly salty. Right. It matters. The establishment matters. Can we? Okay, let's talk. What is everybody's favorite fast food pizza? When I say fast food, I'm talking Domino's, Pizza Hut, Little Caesars, Papa John's. Don't talk to me about a classy establishment. I'm talking fast food pizza. What is everybody's fast food pizza? I'll order something different at a restaurant I've never been to, but if it's somewhere I always go, I usually get a specific order. That's a great point. I paid $4 for a Parmesan. What's a persimmon? What's that? What a waste of $4. I'm a Papa John's guy too. Look at the similarities continue. Love yourself. Papa John's is my number one. After that, listen, for a long time this wasn't true, but hear me out. After that used to be Domino's. But then my girlfriend was like, oh, her favorite is Pizza Hut. And for the longest time I hated Pizza Hut. I thought that was like the worst. But they've changed. They've changed. She was like, let's get Pizza Hut this time. I was like, you know what? I haven't had it in a long time. Fine, we'll get Pizza Hut. We got it. And guys, I was shocked. I liked it a lot. I think Pizza Hut is my new number 2. Persimmon is a weird-ass fruit. It sounds like it. Feels an appropriate time to D&D tomato analogy. Intelligence is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put tomato on fruit salad. Yeah, I guess you found the appropriate time for that one. Papa John's, he might be racist, but $9. One topic carrying out is too powerful of a deal. That's how I defend Kanye. Yeah, he likes Nazis, but graduation. Never had a preference, but my current partner introduced me to a place called Pizza Pub, and they clearly got their name somewhere. Their pizzas are incredible. Pizza Butt has a really good marinara, though. Pizza Butt's a place. A cold day in hell, I go to Domino's. When's the last time you went to Domino's, though? I think Domino's is improved. Mellow Mushroom, okay. Oh, gotcha. Domino's and Pizza Hut in Australia are basically considered like generic bottom-of-the-barrel pizza here. If you have some of the obscure local pizza place. No, Brewham, you're breaking the rules. I'm talking about bottom-of-the-barrel fast food pizza. Of course, sit-down establishments are in, non-chains. Don't move the goalposts. I'm talking that raw, disgusting bottom. What's the best of the worst, you know? That have $5 pizzas, yeah. Little Caesars did that for a long time. Are they still $5 pizzas at Little Caesars, or no? They're like $10 now. Domino's in Australia has gotten worse. Their pizzas have shrunk. Oh no. Look, people want to talk about America. When you buy a pizza in America, they're huge. I did have a culture shock when I lived in Spain, and I saw portional differences. Oh my god, I was like, oh my god, it was so funny, dude. I was dating a girl out there, and we went to like a nice family place. And the family place was known for portions, and she was like, hey, they give you a lot per portion. And I was like, okay. And to me, it was like normal. I was like, oh, nice. But having lived in Spain, I knew it was like it would be half that, usually. Pizza from McDonald's. What? Oh, you know what kind of places scared me to death growing up? Did you guys ever see like the light fast food places attached to like gas stations? Those places, I never would eat there, dude. Those places scare me. Pizza Haven in the early 2000s, but they were bottom of the 4. There's this really unique piece of a chain that only exists in Georgia. I swear Here's my pizza take. Best pizza you can get, local joints that hire high schoolers. If it's fast food, it's Pizza Hut. I fuck with gas station fast food. It will kill you one day. I don't know how you trust it. That's crazy. Gas station pizza could be fire? I must be missing out. I must be. My partner finds my portion sizes crazy, scary. My mom used to have to cook for 8 people, so you basically get one huge plate, and if you're quick enough for seconds, you get on you. Nice. So I ate like a black hole kid. What is... Okay, translate that into American for me. My fatness outweighs my fear. I didn't mean to go down here. Coffee. Is Costco pizza allowed? Yes, it is. Costco pizza I used to adore. I think what I like now is just that it's so cheap, and I think it's by far the largest pizza within this tier you can get, right? It's the largest one you can get, and it's the cheapest. So for that, it does get points. This is my argument with Little Caesars. Little Caesars is ass, but when they used to be $5 pizza, the ass to value would offset to be okay. I've never had Costco pizza, but I've heard good things. Some of those weird chicken bake things. Same with those chicken bake things. Yeah. I can endorse Costco pizza. I like it. I mean, it's $10 for an insanely huge pizza. My mom used to get 2 Costco pizzas, and 4 savagely hungry, voracious men would eat one and a few slices of the next one. She'd have to buy like 4 pizzas to do that from Domino's. I ate like a black hole. Like, if I got you. All consuming. I feel like that saying will pick up steam once we colonize Mars. Once we get out there in the universe more. Alright, Stellar. Have a good day, night. Sometimes I eat with my wallet over what's nice. If you can find... Look, Costco pizza, it's affordable. Livid talking about ass to value ratio is not my bingo card. Look, we came here for deep conversations. You guys think I'm just playing games? I'm trying to change lives. Chuck E. Cheese should go to hell for selling cardboard in that pizza form, yeah. Did anybody used to frequent Chuck E. Cheese? That was Chuck E. Cheese was where I had my birthday for about 5 years in a row. I never loved the animatronics. The animatronics used to freak me out at Chuck E. Cheese. That was why Domino's did $5 pizzas. They were basically the best selling they did. Me and my friends would buy 2 each, and it'd be $10 a person. And we'd be walking out with like 8 or 10. That's crazy, yeah. And then, you probably didn't eat it all in one sitting. You had plenty of leftovers later, right? I took my kids to CEC once when we got my first duty station. What a dump. Yeah, it depends on which one you go to. I think the one locally to me was like, at the time it was newer, so they were like, oh, okay. The marketing deals are so funny. Like the ties they would do. So, you know, I don't know if there's anybody, I don't know, love your, or Brewham, if you know what Chuck E. Cheese is or how it works, but like basically it's like, it's an arcade center and they sell pizza, and the arcades will give you tickets and you can exchange the tickets for like prizes, right? The one I remember going to, the most expensive thing you could get wasn't like a big RC car and like that. Like you could spend all of your tickets to get the new Nickelback album. And my mom was like trying. She's like, we gotta get the new Nickelback album. And it's funny because she could have went across the street to the mall and got it for $10. Taco Bell is maybe 7 to 8 years old in Australia. Are you kidding? You've only had it for like 8 years? Five Guys, oh my god. Five Guys is the biggest scam. Nickelback goes hard, yeah. And maybe it's my local Five Guys, but okay, Five Guys for like one burger and fries and a drink, it's $30. That is robbery. That is theft. And here's the thing. It used to be, back when it was like the same thing was like $20, it was like, oh my god, this is expensive. They were always known for being expensive, but the difference was, I do remember vividly the burger tasting great. Now they taste very mediocre, and I'm like, why am I paying $30 for a mediocre burger? Genuinely, I'm not exaggerating. I feel like I can get the same quality burger from the new Wendy's in town. Queensland doesn't have Five Guys yet. Well, the thing is, like, they're probably going to show up for you guys and do great because they're new and they don't want to give you a bad impression. But let it marinate for a little bit. You'll see. I split the fries with my brother at Five Guys for that reason. Well, the fries are great. I'll give him that. Five Guys used to be great. I agree. It used, even though in my experience, they were kind of always known for having expensive. It was expensive compared to other fast food, but I do remember it being really good, and now it's not good. Not my local one, at least. Basically, popular American chains do amazing when they first get here because of the hype of it finally being available. Right, and I think that they also show up really well because they don't want to lose. You know, it's the most important time is when you introduce yourself to a new area, right? What about sub chains? I love some Firehouse. I've never been a sub guy. I don't like cold sandwiches. Me and my girlfriend had to have this breakthrough because she was one time I think she was in the mood to go get like one of those, like a sub, and she was asking me, and I think I just had an epiphany that like I don't like cold subs, like sandwiches, and I know they can do toasted stuff, so that's what I ended up getting, like a Philly cheesesteak or something. But I kind of realized, I'm like, yeah, I just don't think I like sandwiches. Australia has better food laws than the US. Like what? I guess it might depend. And remember, we have 50 states, and like there are certain laws that, and especially food, like on a federal level, I'm sure there's some laws, but like usually they let the states handle it. It depends on what state you're into. In my state, it's pretty strict. I mean, they send like, they have to, you know what I mean? They do the thing where like, they have to display their most recent inspection so that customers can see it, and they do pretty frequent inspections. When people say like I think what people say when they're like, oh, such and such is disgusting, it's ass, it's gross, they just mean the quality is not great, but not that like there's cockroaches everywhere or something. Basically, the chain is buying the cheapest possible thing they could do, and like, They're not really worried about the quality as far as like the taste. But like it's rare that I go into restaurants in the US and like it's physically like disgusting with trash or something like that. Unless we're, again, that matters, depends on where you are. Didn't ask how they wanted their burger patty cooked. It's properly cooked all the way through. No, that, okay. What they mean is like, you know, rare, well done, you know, medium rare. I've never had Culver's. I will say, and I don't know if this is blasphemous to the Americans listening, but I feel like the whole, like, as long as it's not really well done, like I don't want it super well done, I'm usually fine with, like, as long as the burger is cooked, I'm fine. I've never really cared, I don't think. We don't do rare burger patties over here. Okay, rare burger patties does sound like it'd be rare, or sorry, a rare occurrence. Now, rare steaks, people love rare steaks over here. Like my dad he's like bloody as hell every time. I'm like a medium rare guy. Or a medium. Yeah, as we were talking it out, I'm like, now that I think of it, I don't think I know anybody who likes, like, bloody burgers. Or rare burgers. Taco Bell only made it to Australia because Sizzlers, a buffet restaurant, was failing, and they have the same parent company. Ah! Is Taco Bell, like, popping in Australia, though? Are people digging it? Obviously, steaks are their own thing. I do, however, come from a state where well done is the most common way to have it cooked. That's fucking crazy to me. Sorry. We're not weird. You're weird for that. Well done steak? Well, I think... Hold on, Isn't Taco Bell owned by Yum Foods? Yum brand. Okay. So the stock itself is not doing too bad over the last 5 years. How about in last year? 10% is not bad. Let's do macro trends. Macro trends. Yum. Okay. Revenue and profit. Whoa, what happened here? I don't know what happened in 2016. Did they split? This almost looks like a, because I think I think there was some kind of the company split or something. But as far as like the last 5 years, revenue's been increasing. Again, this is all, they have tons of different brands, so I don't know what is Taco Bell and what it isn't. I'd have to learn, like, I'd have to see like one of the earning calls, like revenue breakdowns. So how much debt do they have? Long-term debt. That's not great. They paid down some of it. 11 billion in debt, but how much was revenue? That's manageable. 7 billion in revenue versus 11 in long-term liability. Let's look at not shareholder equity, shares outstanding. Oh wow. So I don't know if you know what this is, but shares outstanding, you want to see this decline. These are share buybacks. When you're a shareholder in a company, share buybacks are great because it's giving you your shares are becoming larger through a reduction in the overall shares in the open market. That's what happens when a company buys back its own shares. So this is actually this is good. You want to see that number going down. What's the PE been? PE 29, that's... I don't think I agree with that. Seems a little bit overvalued to me. The steak thing is specifically Tasmania. Most others, and even a bit less than half the people eat steaks like medium or something like that. That's because you guys are wild people living on the edge of society. That's what it is. You guys are like the Wild West of Australia. Alright, love yourself. Have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out, dude. By the way, I'm looking for a wheezing here. It's a 1% for a wheezing. I do need to hop off here. After I get wheezing, I'm going to hop off. Maybe even sooner. Gotta get ready for American football. It's the Patriots and the Jets. I got some Patriots. Growing up in Taz in the 90s, only my shows were 80s reruns as they were the backwater hole of the backwater hole then. That's funny. So even like the TV licensing deals were old school. So what's up? Let's talk about the real... Let me ask you guys about real things. Is the Tasmanian tiger still out there? Is he out there or not, dude? Is it 1% encounter rate or is it 0% encounter rate? You picking up what I'm putting down? Growing up, I ate my steaks well done. Now I eat like medium, and that's as far as I tend to go. Yeah, medium is where I'm at. Shows like Home and Away used to be behind from the mainland. Could still be out there, not in large amounts. I guess there's a bunch of reporting sightings in, I think they say like Indonesia. And the logic is that the Tasmanian tigers used to be from Tasmania all the way up through Indonesia. There used to be, you know, thousands of years ago, there used to be populations going all the way up there. And that I guess they're getting repeated sightings in Indonesia because they have those really recognizable snouts. It's crazy, dude. That film of the last tiger, the last Tasmanian tiger, it's so, God, it's like creepy. It's eerie to look at their mouths are so huge. Look. Oh, maybe this isn't it. There's one with an even like longer snout. Australia has one of the biggest camel populations in the world. That's crazy. I've heard there's More sightings in Western Australia than Taz. Ooh, I know another thing I want to talk about. Is it true that the whole thing about the dingo ate my baby, it might actually be true? I think in recent years, haven't they, like... It might have actually happened that way. Tiger and the Devil used to be on the mainland, but when the dingoes were introduced, they out-hunted them. So, what are dingoes? Like, is that just what you guys call them and there's something else? Are they like a dog? That's his own whole thing. Most people are pretty sure they killed their baby, accidentally or not, and wanted to cover up. Okay, I thought I had seen something where, like, there was a case recently where a dingo took another baby, and it made them go, like, oh, maybe it did happen that way. They're a wild dog, basically. Okay. That sucks. It's crazy because, you know, Australia's kind of known for, like, the rough and tumble native animals. It's crazy that like basically a wild dog could outcompete them. They didn't look upset enough, yeah. So I have a question. Is there a big, if you're watching like Australian YouTube, are there a bunch of channels talking about like Australian crime and serial killers and stuff? Dingo Stole My Baby was a Aussie version of John Benet Ramsey. Yeah, it seems like most people think that, you know, she was killed by some mystery man that entered the house. I'm still on the thing of like the dad or brother did it. Like, it's so, like, I don't know, they acted so fucking weird. And the fake ransom letter that was in the dad's handwriting, and it happened to be the bonus it was for the exact amount of his bonus or something. What's up, Final Blue? Like, how would... Just so stupid. There's heaps of... Okay. The reason why I was asking is because, like, there's huge channels talking about, like, crime and murder and stuff, at least on, you know, and it's usually U.S. cases. And I wonder, if it's the same, like, different countries have their own... Like, I know there's crime in different countries, but what I mean is, like, is it as prominent or notable? Like, the only Australian one I had heard about was that mass shooting with that blonde kid. It's crazy with that one. It's crazy. Like, I remember... Sorry, I get in the weeds with stuff, but I remember reading, like, the survivors saying what he said. He was like, that guy was just wild. And then I watched that movie of the Australian serial killers. That one guy who was like, didn't they like they rented a bank or something to hide the bodies? It's American stuff, yeah. So remember the kid in the hot air balloon in the US that was just hiding in the attic? Yeah. Yeah. Right now they're talking about the Jesse Smollett stuff again. because there was like a Netflix documentary on him. It's so stupid. Port Arthur, and that's when we introduced stricter gun laws. Yeah. When I was stationed back in England, the most you'd hear on the local news is some farmer losing a sheep. What's an isolation prison? Is that like, we call it solitary confinement, or it's just no one around you, it's just you all the time? Although I was far away from London, so I was sure that would be very different. Yeah, you're probably in a more rural area. London probably had a lot more stuff going on. Yvonne Milat, who inspired the Wolf Creek movies. Who's that? Explain that. This blows my mind how much the U.S. genuinely thinks that guns are completely banned in Australia. I mean, I don't know what other people think. My assumption with Australia is that you guys would have some amount of hunting rifles because of the wildlife out there. And I know the UK has hunting rifles too. Oh, I've never heard of that. Do you guys know who I'm talking about though? The one that would they made a movie. It was a really popular movie, but this guy and he forced his stepkids to get involved with murdering with him, and they were basically taking out people and taking their belongings and putting them in tubs, and they found a bunch of the bodies in a out of use bank or something. That movie messed me up for a while. I was oh my god, the world's so messed up. Back in the UK, I was told you could carry if it was hunting, and it took a really long time to get a hunting license. Yeah. I just got my guns, in July. I had to go through this idiot for several months, and finally got my rifle back. He was supposed to modify it, but I don't know what went on with that guy. He was either lazy, didn't want to do it, or something. While in Utah, you can get a concealed carry permit within an hour. In Washington, because we have by U.S. standards, we have stricter gun laws. In Washington, it took me a week to get my concealed carry, and then it takes... I can't remember if it was a month or another week while they do a background check on you to be able to purchase the weapons. America would be a lot better if they allowed Australian gun law, if they followed Australian gun laws. I don't know, boys. We mostly just ban automatic weapons, and weapons need to be locked up in a safe with only the gun owner knowing where the keys are. See, stuff like that I don't disagree with. Imagine the U.S. government doing a buyback and well, I don't think people would sell their guns. You have to understand, I know it seems very foreign to you, and you're like, that's crazy. Understand, we're different people. We're different populations of people. America's there's so many ports of entry, and we have basically no Canada and the U.S. border. There's literally parts where there's no guards. You could just walk into Canada or walk into the U.S. So I think the logic for a lot of people is yes, it's a check and a balance versus the government in case things got hairy with them. But it's also if bad people wanted to get guns, they could easily get guns. So then people would argue, well, I want a way to defend myself. Automatic weapons are banned. Sawed-offs are banned. Pistols are basically only service weapons. You need firearm license and gun safe. like, hear my perspective. It's considering how much crime we have in the U.S., I don't ever want to be in a position where I can't defend myself or the people I love around me, or even innocent people at a shopping mall if something happens and some insane person walks in with a rifle or something. I guess I have bias, but I feel alongside as people are properly trained and thorough background checks are done. I feel that's where I'm at, and I'm from a different background, right? I was in the military. I was a contractor. I've seen horrible stuff, and I've seen what one human is capable of doing, and Australia has no land border, so that concept is alien to us. Yeah, that's what I mean. Is like, we have a massive land border with Canada, and like 99.9% of it is you could just walk in. So it's like smuggling in weapons to people who wanted to have them would be so easy. So it's like, it's different in that sense. And like, if you look at Toronto, Canada, they do have gun violence, even though they have extremely strict gun laws. The problem with American gun final is exactly that. The training and background checks aren't being done. Some states, yeah. I definitely don't think it's perfect, but I also, Constitution says well-regulated. A little bit of wiggle room on that, whether it means, is it well-regulated to have, like, strict training and making sure that people are, putting them in safes and stuff. The buyback thing wasn't a you can sell back to the government for money suite. After Port Arthur was you're handing in your guns, but we can give you monetary compensation. Just saying, imagine if the U.S. had to do that, it cost the government a whole lot. Well, it cost them a lot of blood too, because there's just no way. There is no way, dude. I'm saying there's no way without bloodshed. I'm telling you that right now. With how things are, especially now, that's never going to happen without riots. Yeah, that'll just never happen. I think I could get on board with like better training. Like, for example, I wasn't stationed there anymore, but there was a Saudi Arabian pilot who was in Pensacola Naval Station, where I used to be stationed, and he was able to go to a gun fair in Florida, get a hunting license like that day, got a pistol that day, took it back on base because, because we have like a bunch of NATO people going to train in Pensacola, Florida. So you have like Dutch, British, Australian, Japanese, and Saudi. And he was, radicalized. I think Al-Qaeda went on and I think he killed 4 people on base, and then a cop that I knew, his name was Sergeant Hogue. He's alive. Sergeant Hogue survived, but the guy shot back at him, shot him in the leg. But Hogue took him out. Yeah, do I think it's insane that a foreigner can buy a gun at a gun fair in the same day and leave that day? That is insane to me. I think it is a huge responsibility and should be treated as such. And it's probably too... I don't know. I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know. I understand the U.S. gun culture is completely different. It is, Bruham, but I don't know what your perception is. I know you probably definitely disagree with it, because you could probably point to your own country and be like, look, see how much less gun violence we have? I think the American perspective, if you're being fair to the American perspective, is we have such a distrust of the government that, one, it's like, and that's why it was there in the first place. Like, I don't think the founding fathers ever would have suspected crime being the way it is, and personal defense on a day-to-day thing being like what they meant. They largely meant like a tyrannical government having to be in fear of the people, not the people being in fear of the government. But now I think it's expanded into like, hey, I don't want to go to the store and be robbed at gunpoint and shot, or some lunatic losing their mind over politics or something, wanting to like kill a bunch of people and not being able to defend myself. Like, I think the argument is actually expanded. See, that's insane to get. I agree too. Trust me, I agree on that. We do have certain laws with, like, you know, federal criminals can't get them. When I say can't get them, I mean legally can't get them. But I think they can definitely be improved. The silver lining with being able to do that is that it's easier to prove premeditated murder in court, but it's still very much a very bad thing, yeah. It's not really like that I disagree with it, and I totally understand that given our population versus the US population. Yeah, right. Like, if you take raw numbers and you don't do it per capita, of course it's gonna be insane. That's not to say that America doesn't have a lot of violence, because it does. Like, even per capita. I randomly thought about this the other day, but I was watching, like, Japanese people visit America, and I watched an Australian couple. An Australian and their family came to the U.S. Tennessee to, like, celebrate 4th of July, and they had a great time and stuff. And I'm like, it sucks that, like, there's probably a perception that this is just like a lawless land, because, like, I live in a rural area. When I say we have a lot of crime, I'm saying, like, the country, but, like, where I live in my state, in my area, there's not much crime at all. Like, you'd have to go into Seattle to start. Seattle or Everett. But, like, it's mostly the cities, as per probably every country like that. When you get a massive population in one area, it's like, of course it's going to happen. For context, Marvel, I'm currently military, and we are trained to handle guns and don't shoot unless you absolutely have to, right? Yeah, so Final Blue, that's a great point, is like, okay, you get in the military, you learn, you know, the 4 safety weapons, or the 4 safety rules, right? Treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Keep the weapon unsafe until you intend to fire. Don't point at anything until you intend to shoot. Keep your finger straight and along the receiver until you intend to fire. I probably repeated one. I'm forgetting them now. But essentially, you learn a lot of, like, you have very good practice for being safe with weapons. But yes, it's true that the remainder of the population, the thing I was going to say earlier, but it does sound restrictive as it's coming out of my mouth, was like, well, maybe, like, veterans should have an easy time getting a weapon, but it should be harder for everybody else. Because at least veterans, even if you don't have a job where you shoot, usually at boot camp they still tell you how to, like, handle a pistol. Like, I was Navy, you have a whole day where even people who are not going to touch guns when they get to their, you know, they might be a logistics person. There's a day where you go and they show you how to shoot pistols and a shotgun and a rifle, and they have someone right there showing you how to do everything, and then you're done. Like, if you don't have a job where you handle weapons, you never do it again. But it was still like that little experience is probably going to sit with them forever. Just that one interaction. I believe my dad's training as a guard is 3 warnings and then shoot, provided they aren't actively cleared. So the US kind of used to be like that in, like, the 80s. We don't do warning shots anymore. It's usually, like, the slang is alert to the dirt, so you should only be pulling out your weapon if, like, the escalation of force is getting to a degree where it's like you need to be able to think on your feet really quickly. The Coast Guard is different. The Coast Guard, I think, is allowed to do warning shots in front of, like, a boat. But, like, pretty much every branch, we don't do warning shots anymore. And we don't do shoot to, like, take out a tire anymore either. It's like, if you're shooting your weapon, you're taking out the person. Like, they've already done something that elicits a lethal force reaction. Like, it's time to end the threat is kind of what it is now. And, like, the warnings now are verbal, like, or some kind of signaling with light, or like a verbal call out. Yeah, it's pretty much down to, if you're raising your weapon and you're pointing at anybody, it's not as a threat. It's like, you're going. I feel like the main thing is the lack of training in general, setting with guns. Like I was taught proper firearm safety as a 5-year-old, but even most I grew up with around have never seen a real gun. I agree with that too. I mean, I truly think about, like, I know people in my neighborhood. I don't know them like on a deeper level, but I know, look, I have neighbors that live near me. They fight and scream and yell at each other all the time, and they have guns. And I'm like, they're one domestic dispute. And I just think about that. It's like, that is the cost, though. Like, with certain rights, with the Constitution, like, there is a cost to it, you know? And it's just about if the society is willing to take on that cost of the benefits it gives you. And I mean, it's hard to speak for an entire people. I just speak for myself. For myself, I wanna be able to defend myself and the people I love. Then, as you would know, releasing the dog is also considered lethal force. On our use of force, it was not considered lethal force. Maybe in the Royal Air Force it was. On our use of force continuum, it wasn't. It was a step below lethal because we're trained, like, there is no training on, like, neck bites, right? So our use of force was dog was part of the same tier as, like, OC spray and batons. Like for example, say it was me. There's a suspect and they're running away from me, right? But they're not shooting at me. They don't have a weapon in their hand, but they're running away from me. But they might have the chance to go pick up a weapon and hurt someone or do a home invasion or something like that. I'm allowed to release the dog to get them to stop. But I'm not allowed to shoot them. The only way I could shoot them is if they turn around or they pull a gun out or they have a knife and they start running at me. So when you give a relatively easy access to any point to those people who have never held a gun before, it can lead to a very dangerous outcome. I agree with that. I think we agree on most things that you're saying. Like, I don't know how much you agree with, like, the access to them in general. Like, at the end point being that we can get them if we want them. But I agree about stricter training. Like, the thing I told you about getting it in a day. I think Florida did change that, and if they didn't, they need to. I mean, that's psychotic. There we go. Pretty much we agree, and I understand the history of the U.S. has such. Overall, most of the outside you find there not enough rules around it. Yeah. I think ours comes from history, of course, because we have, like, a distrusted government. And if the population finds it tyrannical, you know, there's a historical context that, like, I mean, it hasn't happened, but I'm saying like a revolt hasn't happened outside of the Civil War, but in fact, most outside the U.S. just assume there are, like, no laws at all regarding. There are, and it depends which state. But here's the thing. Here's a great example. I was telling you about, like, it kind of doesn't matter if you make it strict or not. For example, okay, there's extremely strict gun laws in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. The states and those city governments are very strict against guns, right? of those three, where do you think like the most shootings are and the most gun violence is? It's those three cities. It's like there's strict, and the point is like you can bring guns from other places like illegally. The U.S. is just too big, dude. Like we have such a friendly. I don't want to see some like big border wall with Canada. We have such a friendly like. Despite recent stuff, overall the relations with Canada are friendly. They're not going to build some big wall. Like there's just like only like 1% of it is covered by like border security. You know, it's usually where the major highways are to like that go into the either country. The rest of it is completely, you know, if you can get it into Canada, you're good. Okay, everybody, my Australians, any Americans left? I'm gonna watch some football, but after that, I think I'm gonna do round 2. We'll do gun or gun. We'll do gun 2. We'll do round 2. We're gonna catch the night owl Pokemons, the Pokemans. But Brewham, Marvel, Final Blue, you guys have been awesome. And I'll see you in like 4 or 5 hours.